What's up, everybody? Give me just a second here to pull up the chat so I can see some people going on here. First and foremost, welcome to tonight's episode of Tackle Talk or Tackle Tip Tuesdays. So you guys know that I go live every other Tuesday, myself and Josh, and we were looking for ways to integrate that into the actual YouTube channel side of things. So we're going to attempt to split this up into 2 different weeks. So like I'll be going live one week talking about tackle tip. The next week Josh will be going live with me via Facebook and YouTube, so you'll see us both there. If you guys don't care, if somebody's out there can let me know if you hear me all right. Let's see if I have any talk or tackle tip. Oh, I can hear myself pretty well, so I'm pretty good there. Hey Dustin, how you doing, buddy? I see you out there. So I got the stream pulled up here. So I have some new software that I want to talk to you guys a little bit about, which is Switcher Studio on my iPhone here, which allows me to do things that is like this right here. Welcome to Tackle Tip Tuesday. So it's pretty cool stuff. Piece of software that I found over the week that will help me do stuff like that in the grand scheme of things. I'm going to pull up some things here. So you're going to see a lot of this that you know basically what you see here is a stripped down version of what you're going to see in the Tuesday live. So if you guys are just out there just now seeing me, you guys want to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or obviously YouTube here. My name here is at OnAnotherLine on all that stuff, so you can actually check that out. I'd appreciate it if you give me a follow on all the social media sites there. I would really appreciate it. So with that being said, what are Tackle Tip Tuesdays, and what can you expect on these other Tuesdays? Well, first and foremost, what we're going to do is we're going to try to, give you guys some ideas and new. We're going to give you some ideas for baits and stuff that we use. What we're going to use this also for is for you to put baits and stuff in the comments below of things that you may be not very familiar or comfortable with. You don't know how to rig it, something like that. That's what this is for. Aaron Galley made the comment today that he wanted to see me review a $300 glide bait, and I told him if I get 25,000 subs on YouTube this year, I'll buy it. It's a $300 glide bait. It looks sweet. I just don't have 300 bucks to blow on that right now. So if you want to see some baits, how to Texas rig, what have you, you'll see that throughout this series. And again, this is going to be every other Tuesday live on YouTube only, not Facebook as well. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you guys some baits that I feel like that are imperative that you understand what they are. They're my favorite stuff. I'm going to talk to you about a style of line that I like. I'm going to talk about some other things, what kind of baits and stuff I like. There's a few here that I'm going to talk about. We're not going to keep this really a long time tonight, but I'm going to show you some of the baits that I have used in the previous month. Also, over the weekend, I met a new buddy, Stephen Chase, through our Facebook thing, through our Facebook stuff, and he and I and Josh went out and we caught some fish, had fun, went out on Yatesville. So here's an image of Steven and I this past weekend at Yatesville. You can see the water is really up, really murky. It's actually not bad compared to what the river was. We started at the river, came back out of the river, drove to Yatesville, had a pretty good day there. So that's Stephen Chase. Stephen, appreciate what you've done for us this weekend, buddy. I hope you're going to be a friend of mine for a long time. You're a cool dude, kind of guy that I can see myself hanging out with a lot. Dude can fish too. It's awesome. So anyway, back to what Tackle Tip Tuesdays is. If you want to find out about a bait and you're just dying to know what it is or how to fish it, or maybe you saw it at a bait store and you want to know what it is, we will be letting you guys know about that. So if you look way back there, there is a Yum Christie crawl all the way back there. So if stuff like that's interesting, you will grab it, we'll fish. So the cool thing about that is I can actually bring in videos on this thing too, which is really cool. First and foremost, shout out to Jim Block, my buddy from JB's Fish Sauce, hooked me up with one of the coolest hoodies that I've ever seen. Got JB's Fish Sauce logo on the sleeve. This thing has 2 pockets on the front of it. It's a Velcro pocket and then an actual pocket for your hands to go in so you can put your phone or whatever you have in there. Is really cool. These are brand new on the market. jbsfishsauce.com. Get you some now. If you're looking for some JB's Fish Sauce Spring 19, we'll give you give you 20% off your discount or 20% off code right now for spring on jbsfishsauce.com. So check it out. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 2 baits that I think are absolutely imperative that you know how to use and know what they are. First and foremost, I am a huge fan of Jackyl baits. Jackyl baits have been a staple for me since I've actually started fishing competitively in the past 5 years. Jackyl is it's not a subsidiary of Shimano. Shimano actually just distributes their stuff in the United States. They're a Japanese company. Their baits are a little more expensive than normal, just for the simple fact is we have export and all that stuff, so they're importing these things, so they have a lot more money wrapped up in that. The baits are a little higher quality than you're normally used to too. So my favorite bait right now to use is a Jackyl Flick Shake 4.8 inch in the Cola collar on a shaky head. So here is a Jackyl 4.8 inch. This is Cola collar. It mimics a nightcrawler in my opinion. You can see that has a little like an S shape to it. When you throw this thing out there on a wacky rig or on a shaky head, you get some really crazy movements. So the Jackyl Flick Shake is something that I would definitely recommend you picking up. Everything that I'm going to cover today is available at the Tackle Box in South Point, Ohio. Go up there, talk to Greg, he can hook you up. So that is the Jackyl Flick Shake 4.8 inch. And the reason I like that one so much is the fact that again, it's a perfect size, 4.8 inches. You can get them in 5.8. You can get them in a lot of bigger stuff. Just totally depends on what you want to use as far as how big they are, or how big the crawls that you're using are in your area, or the bait is in your area. Sorry, not crawls. But you can get them all the way up to 10 inches, like 9.8 inches, which is really cool. So with that being said, wacky rig, shaky head, you could Texas rig these things. And as we go on through these tips, these Tackle Tip Tuesdays, I'm going to show you guys how to rig each of these baits that I'm talking about. I'm going to show you guys some underwater footage of all this stuff. It's going to be all combined into helping you become a better fisherman through me learning new baits and trying to figure out what you guys want to learn. So again, Jackyl Flick Shakes are really, really awesome. You can pick them up at the Tackle Box. The next one is going to be a Jackyl Chunk Crawl, and that is here. That is this is a green pumpkin pepper collar. It does have, and I will say that these things have some stench to them. They have their own special smell. I don't know what it is. I still coat those babies in JB's Fish Sauce, so mine smell like garlic more often than not. But they have some phenomenal action. They look extremely lifelike in the water. Again, you can Texas rig those things. That's my favorite way of throwing them. 4-aught. Guys, your favorite hook, it doesn't matter. If you like Trocar, if you like Mustad, I throw a lot of the Bass Pro edition stuff, the Bass Pro brand. Gamakatsu makes awesome hooks. It just depends on what, your favorite brand. I've really never found a hook that I didn't really like. Some of them are a little sharper than others, but it's not going to be too much of a difference. So pick up your favorite. My favorite is an offset shank worm hook for that Texas rig application. Another thing you could do with the Jackyl Flick Shake, or I'm sorry, the Jackyl Chunk Crawl right here, is you could throw this thing on a shaky head. So if you think about putting this on a shaky head and the bait being, let's just use this swim bait hook right here. It's not a shaky head, but let's just say that you have this thing screw locked down here and your bait's coming off of this. So when you think about that being on the bottom on a shaky head, you're going to be, that crawdad is going to be up at a, it looks like it's in a fighting manner, and crawdads or smallmouth, largemouth absolutely hate that. They will absolutely annihilate that bait which you know, is good stuff. So definitely do that. You can use it on a shaky head, and again, this is just a swim bait hook, but just imagine having that thing screw locked on that hook to where it's bouncing off the bottom like this, and you would have the pinchers up in the air, so it looked like it was in the fighting stance or in an aggressive manner. Fish absolutely murder that stuff. The next thing we're going to talk about, so that was green pumpkin pepper. I'm going to show you guys one that I like as well. This is the same bait. This is a chunk crawl. This is in watermelon. So this is watermelon here. This is, they make a 3.8 and a 4.8, I believe, or 3.5 and a 4.5. My favorite are the 3.5. I believe the 4.5 are a little big for around here, but just depends. If you're down the Lake Fork or somewhere, you probably want a bigger bait, so you go for that 4.5 inch style. I have a bunch of the chunk crawls. I have them in pretty much all the collars. They are phenomenal baits. Again, they have their own stench to them. They do stink. I'm not gonna lie to you, but they do work. So Jackyl chunk crawls are something that you need to check out. So I'm gonna cover a couple more things. I'm gonna show you guys some other stuff. So you guys know that I'm a huge fan of PowerPro line, especially, you know, obviously it's just braid. They don't make a monofilament or a fluorocarbon, which I am super bummed out about. I wish they did, because it would be awesome. But right here is PowerPro Max Quattro. So the difference between Max Quattro and Super Slick or Super 8 Slick is the carriers that are braided on this line. So Max Quattro is a 4 carrier braided line, meaning that there are 4 strands that are woven together. So the next one is going to be like Super 8 Slick or Super Slick. There's a Super Slick version 2 now, or Super Slick V2, which is phenomenal stuff. You can see here, this is, you know, last year, best line, ICAST new product showcase winner. That is 2018 or 2017, 2018 ICAST. They won best of show with the Super Slick version 2. So, but the difference between this is, I want you to think about the difference in the 4 carrier braid and an 8 carrier braid, is that a 4 carrier braid is like a mud tire. Let's put it into a tire analogy here. So if you think about a 4 carrier braid like this Max Quattro as a mud tire, something that will get you in, get you out, kind of rough, but it does its job, and it's pretty, you know, it's pretty all around. You're gonna get a lot of abrasive resistance with this. You also get some shear strength or shear cutting ability. For example, of like cutting through lily pad stems, brush, whatever, grass. You're gonna get that better with this Max Quattro, which is a 4 carrier braid. This stuff is really cool because it's 25% thinner than most other 4 carrier braids. It's really cool stuff. This is a 30-pound test in moss green. Super Slick V2, which is an 8 carrier braid, comes in onyx black finally. So leave that black marker at home. You don't need it anymore with Super Slick V2. You get black. You get onyx black. So Max Quattro, again, if you think about the 4 carrier braid, it's going to be like a mud tire. It's going to get you in, it's going to get you out. It's kind of rough, it's kind of rugged, but it has a lot more abrasion resistance, and it'll get you what you want get it through like lily pad stems and stuff. Whereas Super Slick or 8 carrier braid, it almost puts you in the mind of like the coated dental floss. It has a coating to it, so you can rub your fingernail down it, and you can't feel each one of those ridges from the braid on this thing. It's like a highway tire. It doesn't last as long. It doesn't have as good of abrasion resistance. The V2 does actually. It's smaller, it's thinner, so you have that opportunity to get that, you know, get that deal there. But PowerPro line is my absolute favorite braided line on the planet. Spectra braid, made by Honeywell, is using this stuff. Made in the United States of America. I met the CEO of this is actually, it's manufactured by Innovative Textiles, which is a Shimano company. I met the CEO, Conrad, and he is an amazing guy. Basically, he took me through the factory and I wasn't even there. He told me what all goes on, explained all this stuff to me in about 20 minutes that I cast last year. Super nice guy. PowerPro, braided line, super slick V2, comes in onyx black. Max Quattro is your 4-carrier braid that is 25% thinner. The V2 super slick Super 8 slick V2 is an 8-carrier braid, but it has the same, basically the same abrasion resistance as this. It's thinner. It is gonna, like I said, it comes in onyx black. Super cool stuff. So let me show you guys a couple photos. I've had a pretty decent year so far, as far as catching fish. A couple weeks ago, I went out and caught a fish out at Grayson Lake. So here is a pretty good fish that I caught out of Grayson 2 weeks ago. Caught it on a black jig with silver speck, tackle box poured. I don't know if they make their own skirts or not, to be honest with you. 3/8 ounce football head with a net bait Paca chunk, Paca chunk crawl trailer on it, and this girl absolutely loved it. Sprayed some JB's fish sauce garlic on there, and she could not resist. So that's a pretty good fish that I caught. I figured that one was probably over 5 pounds. My scale was dead. Didn't think that I was going to go out and catch a fish, but that's usually the way it goes. So let me find a couple more photos here for you, and we'll let you guys go for tonight. I just want you guys to know that if you guys want to see, hey Landon, I see you there, buddy. Sorry I didn't see your name. Name popped up there. How you doing today, buddy? So here is a decent fish I caught in the Shimano Owners Tournament a couple weeks ago at Cumberland. 4.5 pound smallie. Not a bad fish. I'm going to show you guys one more fish that I've caught over this past couple months. Obviously, you guys that have been following along with my truck process have a 2014 Dodge Ram that Ram is refusing to fix. So I'm having to do a lot of bank hopping, but all in all, it's worked out pretty well. I've caught some decent fish in the long run of things with that. So here is another decent fish that I caught. Probably over 4 there, I'd say. Took some heat for having an NRX and a Crown Arc in the brush. However, guys, you fish what you like, and I'm not normally pond hopping like that, obviously, so I don't have a lot of low-end rod and reels anymore. So once you fish the best, you don't want to go back. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, so broke down some baits that I use on a daily basis. The next Tackle Tip Tuesday I'm going to talk about is I'm going to grab some stuff. No, Landon, I don't have a mystery tackle box. I did have for a while. There's a couple of my buddies have been asked to pro staff for a company, and I could be getting this wrong, but I think it's called the Mega Bass Box, and it has a lot, all name brand stuff, has all kind of stuff in there as far as I know. I'm not sure. I used to have a mystery tackle box, but to be honest with you, I started getting stuff that I knew I would never use, and it was just cluttering up my room and stuff, so I canceled it. I did get a lot of cool stuff. There was a lot of cool stuff. Like I got my very first Spro frog from there, and I absolutely love Spro frogs now. I crush them. I crush fish on those things, so I buy them. So it does do its job. I just don't have much use for it anymore. So anyway, back to what we're doing. Again, guys, if you're just now joining us, I'm going to spend about 20 to 25 minutes every other week talking about tackle, talking about tips for tackle, showing you guys how to rig stuff, showing you guys different baits and techniques that I use that are successful for me. So if you find this helpful, I appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it a bunch. I am over 1,000 subscribers now, which is phenomenal. I love it. I thank you guys very, very much for that. My best video right now, my best producing video is how to clean your boat carpet, which I'm going to be creating a lot more videos like that in the near future. That's why I'm creating videos like this. I want to show you guys some videos and stuff that you guys would potentially like and want to see. So if you want to see a bait reviewed or want to know what's going on, what are my thoughts on the Googan baits? To be honest with you, man, they're great baits. They're actually designed by the same guy that creates Rage, all the Rage stuff, which is Strike King. I want to think his name is Steve something, Steve Parks maybe. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. But I know the guy that designs Rage baits for Strike King, like the Rage Tail and Rage Crawl and all that stuff. He's the same guy that designed the Googan baits. So they're got to be phenomenal baits. I've never personally used them. I know they do sell them with the tackle box, so if you're interested, that's where you can pick them up at. There's a lot of stuff. I think they have. I'm trying to think what there's some crawl baits they have. They have a shaky head bait, a wacky rig bait. Some of the stuff looks really cool. I can't knock it because I've never tried it, but maybe that's what I'll do. I'll get some Googan baits for the next time. We'll go throw them around and we'll see what happens. That's what it's all about. If you guys want to see baits like that, just let me know. And I'll go buy some and I'll go use them and see what happens. So hopefully I'll have my truck fixed here in the next few days. I can go out and grab a couple of these baits, take them fishing, and see what happens. Because I'm all about trying to find new stuff that catches fish too. So that's what it's all about. So with that being said, guys, I've been on here 21.5 minutes. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Got 3 people watching me right now. Hopefully more and more tune in. I'm going to be doing this strictly on YouTube, which should drive some people towards my YouTube channel. And Facebook has a terrible way of doing things, and I'm kind of partial to Facebook, or YouTube, and what I have going on here. So until next time, guys, next Tuesday we'll be live on this channel and Facebook, depending on where you want to check us out at. We'll be looking, talking about some new things. We have some big time people coming up soon. We're going to have Gene Jensen, aka Fluke Master, which is on YouTube here. If you don't know him, he's like 350,000 subscribers deep on YouTube. He's like probably the biggest fishing YouTubers out there, which is pretty phenomenal. We're going to have him on the show soon. Scott Butcher. We're going to have James Watson is going to be on the show. We got a lot of people going on. So appreciate you guys sticking around. Until next time, my name is Tyler Waller. I'm on another line, and lean on them.